What's the most important thing that we haven't discussed in your work, or the most important idea that, I don't know, has changed your life? Maybe people don't understand it or think about it enough. That's foundational to having a great health span, living long, being healthy, all of those things that maybe we haven't discussed.
Yeah. I want to address that question in a couple ways. Number one, we talked about temporal disconnect and doing the things today that feel good today, but for the future. And so the way I have really changed since I've been through this is I have thought ahead about what I want to be when I'm 97. And how did I choose 97? Well, I'm 57 now. My youngest daughter was born when I was 40. If I want to be around to bug the heck out of her until she is my age, I need to live till 97. What do I need to do what I want, when I want it? Like, you can imagine, I don't want to be told what to do. I'm a surgeon. I'm usually in control of my environment. And I think people just want to be in control. I want to do what I want. Well, what's it going to take? If I just wait until 63, when my health span is over to pay attention, I'm never going to get there. So that has really pivoted my mindset that I have to do it every day now. I don't love doing it. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't love going and working out most days, but with this perspective, I will. But the other tenet that I think is so important, we talked about lifting heavy, we talked about zone 2 and sprinting. Something I've layered on this year is the concept of our VO2 max and the fragility line. Fragility means you get older, slower, weaker, you lose your functional capacity. 25% of all people are frail and unable to live independently by the time they're 85. Not on my watch. And so the frailty line is the cardiovascular health that you need, cardiovascular capacity that you need to be independent in your own home. You may not be running marathons. So for men, it's 18 milliliters of oxygen per kilogram per minute. For women, it's 16. So how do we figure this out? I would go have you had your VO2 max tested?
I haven't.
It's torture, but you should do it.
I think, I had a cardiovascular examination and they made me sprint on a treadmill.
Yeah.
And they were looking at how well my heart coped. I don't know if they're measuring my VO2 max. They didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should do it while you're young so you know your base.
I didn't have a mask on.
Yeah. So what it tells is your cardiovascular capacity for exchanging oxygen from your blood to your lungs. Elite athletes like the Tour de France have VO2 maxes in the above 75, sometimes 200. They're just genetic specimens. The 50th percentile for a man your age is 55. The 50th percentile for a woman my age is 31.
That's the average, right?
That's the average, 50 percentile. When I was 50, I'm going to give you an example. Every decade, we lose 10% of our VO2 max if we don't do anything about it. That's just the way we age. 10%.
I can get it back though, right?
You can work at it. People who are out of shape can make bigger deltas getting it back. People are in extreme shape, and the delta's smaller because they start out well. So for me, I'm going to give you an example so people see how this works. At 50, when I was 50, I did it. My VO2 max at that time was 45. So at 60, if I lose 10%, let's just do big numbers, I'll be down to 40 VO2 max. At 70, I'll be down to 35. At 80, I'll be down to 25. I'm still above the frailty line. At 90, I'll be 20. Still above the frailty line, not what I was at 50, but not frail. I can still live on my own. So what I've done now, since the things that I've talked to you about are a lifestyle, they don't take much energy because it's just how I live. I've layered on VO2 max training, which is a different way to do cardio training. It's 4 minutes as hard as you can go. Torture. And then you recover for 4 minutes, only 4 minutes. And then 4 minutes as hard as you can go. The good news is you only have to do that 3 times or so once a week. And it will work you hard enough to maintain or improve your VO2 max frailty line. That's something special that you can add on. Once you've optimized your health, once you've done the peak performance things we've talked about, then you can add those things on.
Okay, well, I better get on with it then.
Don't feel guilty.
Yeah, I need to go to the gym today, but it's certainly changed my perspective on what I'll be doing in the gym and also why I'll be doing it. I think the why piece is so critical. I think a lot about discipline and incentives and why certain behaviors occur. And I wrote in my book that I was trying to sort of simplify why some habits in my life have stuck and others haven't.
Yeah.
And then why some habits where I was a bit of a yo-yo suddenly stuck and I held them for 5 years and still to this day and others haven't. And I kind of simplified it down to this idea that the discipline equation starts with the strength of your why. Like this, so you've given yourself a really strong why by having this sort of 97-year-old goal, like who I'm going to be when I'm 97, and then linking that to your daughter, which is a pretty strong why.
Yeah.
Plus the enjoyment I get from the pursuit of the goal, and then minus the friction or the like lack of engagement from the hard. Like if the gym is really far away, if it takes too long, if it's embarrassing, is friction. So if I'm going to a gym and I'm a guy and there's lots of beautiful people there and I'm overweight, it's, all of that's friction. So how do you like influence that equation to increase your why, make it more enjoyable or psychologically reinforcing the act of the discipline, and then kill all the friction I possibly can? And for me, that's where the habits we're talking about today have really stuck.
Yeah.
Interestingly, I've shared this before, but I'll share it again. I was a yo-yo gym goer. My gym routine and my health strength routines were all very inconsistent until the pandemic. And it was for me just seeing that health is the foundation of all of our lives, seeing that on a screen in lockdown, that the real sort of variance between outcomes for people that got COVID came down to your sort of pre-existing health. Yeah. And so at that point I thought, oh my God, like it's not my business, it's not my dog, it's not my girlfriend, it's not my family that mattered the most. Actually, number one, the foundation in which all those things sit is my health. So that became my first foundation, my non-negotiable. And hopefully, as you say, that'll mean that my kids, when they arrive, whenever I become a father, will have a dad until I'm 170. So that's the goal.
I hope
so. That's the goal. If you love the Diary of a CEO brand and you watch this channel, please do me a huge favor. Become part of the 15% of the viewers on this channel that have hit the subscribe button. It helps us tremendously, and the bigger the channel gets, the bigger the guests.